Hello, my name is Supa, also known as Supa Salty. I make videos about Birds of War, aka Bird Game 3, aka whatever you want to call it. Today, we are doing a map guide. This guide will go over the map features and unique aspects of the map, the starting routes for each nest, the best path I use to travel from nest to nest, the best kill streaks to use on the maps, as well as extra bird tips that I know or my friends have told me. This guide is part of my goal to rank every nest in Birds of War, going map by map until I get every single nest ranked. Subscribe to stay updated about new guides and rankings, as well as some other montages and videos that I'll be putting out soon, and I hope you enjoy. Before we go over the map guide, I just want to showcase this egg layout that my friend Cerno put together, showcasing the spawns for different eggs around the map. So these are what we call neutral eggs. These are eggs that spawn in that don't start in nests. So we have this ring of high eggs around the top, under these kind of arches on the map. And then most of the other eggs are in the center around the main pillar and around the island in the middle. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for some of those starting routes. And when we do nest to nest, it'll kind of be avoiding those because we want to be using those routes after all of the neutrals have been taken or moved around to somewhere else on the map. And we're actually going to start off with the map features. So the first thing that we're going to go over are these walls. I've been calling them one-way walls because previously the way they worked is that you could only go out through one way and then you'd be blocked going back the other way, but those were recently changed. Let me explain how they work now. Your nest, so as you see, I'm on Team Ironbeak or Team Orange. My walls are all green, and that means that I can pass through both sides perfectly fine. But if I fly over to blue nest or red nest, you see the walls are red, and that actually means that I can't pass through. And if I go around to this side, I can pass through only this way. So on your own walls, you can go through both ways, but on enemy walls, you can only go out from the nest. You can't enter. You'd have to go up through these holes in the top that go around the entirety of the map, or you'd have to go through the tunnels underneath, which you can see right here. Another feature about this map are these swinging axes. So these swing back and forth, and they actually knock you and hurt you if you run into them. So if I stand in the way, you'll see it does about 100 damage and knocks me down. So these hitboxes rotate with the axes. You just want to make sure that when you're flying around through these areas, you want to dodge the axes, try to fly under them if you can, or in some cases, if you're flying up high, just fly over the axe. And then let's say I'm going for blue nest, I could just come into here and drop down like. Now I'm going to go over the pathing. So since this map is so symmetrical, I'm pretty much only going to show just the right and left paths that I prefer. So this is just nest to nest. I would normally come up here or go through the wall and just fly all the way up here and then come through here and dash down and then go for maybe like a TP steal or something to get back up over the nest and out back to my nest. And this is pretty much the same in the opposite direction. I'll show what it looks like if I'm going underneath instead. So I could drop down here, go through here, and then either come up in this hole and go here, and then like same thing, TP steal out, and then just dash over so I get out quickly back to my nest. For starting routes on this map, talking about neutrals, as you can see, there are quite a lot of neutral eggs that spawn. This circle right here, this elevation spawns a couple, and there are also some that spawn on this platform down here. So what I prefer to do is on Owl, to start off, I like to fly out and go for the lower one like this, because what I can do is I can just TP up and then get back up, or I could just fly up here, go through my wall, and drop the neg in. Same thing for if you wanted to go for these higher ones. It doesn't really change the difference that much. I mean, you just do the same thing, drop it down. Also, as some extra tips, the first thing I'm going to go over are kill streaks. So Jammer and Taser are great on every map. Personally, the Eagle missile can sometimes be a bit buggy because it can spawn in the middle section, and it doesn't render these walls, so it's a little confusing trying to maneuver them, and you might miss the opening up at the top. So if you're trying to Eagle missile onto a nest, it can be very difficult, and for that reason, I would take Guano as my third kill streak. Nuke, obviously you can take if you want to, but for the meta or the recommended Killstreaks, I would take Jammer, Taser, and Guano on this map. Another fun extra tip that I like to share is on Eagle, if you're fighting around people's nests, you can get a bit of a cheeky queue off by going over here, dropping down, and then queuing up. And what happens is it forces people to either fly over, because they can't see what you're doing down here. It forces them to either stay on nest and get nothing done, or try to fly over and stop your queue. In that case, if you were able to, let's say they fly over, I can hit my queue, come up, and I can just dive on them right away. So it's a nice situation. I love queue diving on Eagle. I think it's a great combo of the abilities that really gets a lot of people mixed up and they don't expect the dive. So finding a safe way to do it, such as just dropping down, hitting the queue, and then coming up and even just diving off that. That is a very fun thing to do, and I like doing it. It catches a lot of people off guard. I'd recommend trying that the next game you play in Colosseum. Owl is probably my second most played bird. There's not a ton of tips other than I'd be careful because you can TP out of the wall, but if you try to TP back in, you can see that the wall actually stops the teleport, even though I can, you know, just walk in as usual. Like, I believe that might be a bug, so in the future, test that. You might be able to do that, but for right now, that's just the behavior and the interaction between the TP and the walls. Now, the funny thing about Colosseum is because of how symmetrical everything is, I'd really say that just all of the nests are equal. I don't really have a way to show that on here, aside from a couple bugs that are happening and just a little map errors on the map. All the nests are equal, and that's why I like this map so much. It's very skill dependent. There's not as much RNG. Obviously, the neutral eggs and the spawn chances do add some RNG, but a lot of it, like, if you get blue, you're not going to have a drastically different game compared to if you get red. Like, that does happen on some of the maps that we talked about.